Hello Cancer, welcome to your weekly tarot reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is for the week of February 5th through 11th. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond just what I'm telling you, okay? Remember that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And here we have the Justice or Adjustment card. Let's find out what's going on with that. Let's put this all into some context with our Dove and Serpent spread. Oh, interesting. Gosh, a lot of good energy this week. Let's do our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. We're going to put that right there. We're not going to look at it until the very end of the reading, so stick around until the end. And we'll see if that will give us the confirmation we need, or, you know, provide the closure, or just that final missing piece of the puzzle. Okay, so we start out with this Justice or Adjustment card. And I do just want to say before we get started, we're getting that overhead camera. Your next weekly video, we should have that overhead. I already bought the damn thing, just got to set it up. Anyway, so you have this energy this week of really, you really are trying to reestablish some kind of balance or fairness. I feel like you kind of have this vibe like you're recently offended. You know what I mean? You're harboring some kind of animosity towards someone, and I have an idea who they are. Some kind of animosity because you feel like you've been wronged, or that you feel like this person has done something wrong or done something to offend you, or they've done something that have violated your good sense in a way. And you're waiting for that kind of karma to catch up with them. You're waiting for them to restore the balance, or you're waiting for them to maybe acknowledge what they've done, or to in some way correct it, right? To balance the scales again, to reestablish the equilibrium. I can't say that word today. Equilibrium. So I think that you have innately in you a strong sense of fairness and justice, almost, in a way. Not that I don't think you're out there, you know, crusading or anything. But I feel like it's more personal for you. I think when you get your feelings hurt, or when you feel like you've been wronged in some way, or someone has done something that has kind of violated your personal code or your personal space even. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's your personal space. You really harbor that. You really hold on to that until it's been corrected. You know? It's hard to let things go when we feel like our space has been invaded, our security, our emotions, and we feel hurt or wronged in some way. It's hard to let go of that. It's hard to not sit there and think about it every day until something gets fixed, until this person maybe admits what they did, tries to make up for it, corrects it, tries to reestablish or restore that balance or equilibrium. There, I said it that time. So I feel like this is kind of the mode that we're in this week. This is, I think, a general energy for you, but I think it's the focus right now. I think there's something going on currently that you're still kind of waiting for it to be rectified. Okay. Let's find out maybe what's going on here. I'm going to go to the recent past first, because this is where I see maybe this other person involved. They could be a water sign person, as are you, Cancer. Not necessarily, though. This isn't. This is one of those situations where this may not be talking about their astrological sign. Okay, I think the water here is talking about how they violated your emotions, or how they've hurt you emotionally, right? And maybe not intentionally, but, or I should say maybe not in a direct way, but maybe indirectly. Okay. I think there was something going on with this person. They could be a romantic partner, of someone very close to you, someone with whom you've established trust. And I think that they have done something in their life, again, maybe not directly to you, but involving someone else or a different area of their life. And you feel pretty hurt and offended by it. Okay? Because maybe it's showing a different side of them that you didn't know existed. Okay, with this Prince of Cups, this is someone who takes a lot of time and care into their persona, their external, outward-facing mask, right? And I think that maybe with this person, you thought you knew them deeper. You thought you knew them behind the mask. But now, because of whatever this incident was, you feel like you don't know them at all. And whatever they did hurt your emotions, your sensibilities, and have kind of thrown a little bit of a wrench into what you thought was your life or your relationship with this person. Now, again, I don't know if it's romantic. I think maybe, but not necessarily. Okay, there's no indication here that it is indeed a romantic thing. Could be platonic, could be in something at work even. You know, I don't know where this is all taking place, but I know that this is involving this relationship with this person. And when I say relationship, I'm not talking love and romance all the time. It could be platonic. It could be work, business, a colleague, an associate. Okay, it could be a family member, which I think are a category of their own, to be honest with you. But looking at these cards, we have Earth, we have Major, we have Air and Earth. We've got a lot of Majors, some Court, some Earth. So, you know, there's really not a lot of water energy here. I think that you're kind of going into full Cancer mode. You're going into fully activating your shell. I think you kind of let your shell open a little bit. You let this person in. Remember I said you've established trust with this person. But now you kind of feel like they've in some way violated that trust, and your shell is kind of closing back around. Right, and that's why with the rest of this reading, we don't see any more cups. We have a little bit of water, but no cups, no kind of internally activated emotional things. You know, it's that we've got that shell. We're trying to kind of cut ourselves off from that. But I did say that you felt this deeply. You know, so I'm not saying that you're cutting yourselves off from how you feel about this situation, but you are you're creating that wall, and that wall, that shell, is not just between you and the external world. It's not just between you and this person or you and anybody else. This is also between you and, let's say, your conscious mind or the other parts of your soul, right? It's an internal kind of shelling as well. And that is to kind of, you know, it's, you know, in the body, if there's a foreign body or something in us somewhere, our bodies, our immune system will surround it with tissue and isolate it, right? And I think that's what's kind of going on in you with this situation, is that you're kind of putting that shell around these feelings to try to isolate them so that they don't infect the rest of the body, the rest of you, the rest of your soul. Does that make sense? I really like medical science. I was trained as an EMT, so I like to use the medical analogies sometimes. Anyway, that's, I don't know. This week we also see this Empress card. Okay, and this gives me some hope, because it could be essentially that this is more of a misunderstanding than not. Okay, this could be that this person really wasn't intending to violate your trust or to hurt your feelings or anything like that. They weren't setting out to do anything. They had no malice. It could be actually that the way we're perceiving this situation is all wrong. It could be that they do have your best interest at heart. Okay. That's just a possibility. That's something I think that we need to explore through some of this air energy that we see also over here. Because there is a possibility that we're wrong. That we have interpreted a situation in such a way that kind of maximizes our offense, our taking of offense. You know, we've looked at something in such a personal way that we're deeply hurt kind of by whatever happened. But perhaps if we try to find some other points of view, some other angles to look at things, maybe we'll realize that this wasn't quite the case. It might be a little bit more of a gray area than we're accepting at this moment, okay? And that's just one possibility. The possibility also is that you thought this was your person, that you really have a lot invested in this person, okay? And with this Empress card, it could be that you thought this was the one, that this was going to be the person with whom you create this wonderful life, future, reality with, okay? And it could be something a little more compartmentalized, like it could be something at work. You know, could be something within your existing family dynamics. With this Empress card, it feels like this is, in some ways, the perception of the relationship here. You thought this was a very trusting, loving, respectful, appreciative kind of relationship. A lot of trust, a lot of affection there. Okay. And I think this person is going to honestly realize what you're going through, and they're going to try to make it up to you via this affection, this warmth, this display of love. Okay? This doesn't mean that you're going to accept that. It doesn't mean that you're going to accept what they're offering you as the right type of equilibrium, you know, retribution or the restoring of the balance. You know, the way that they go about trying to fix this problem, it may not mean so much to you. It may really not be what you're kind of looking for as the fix. You know, it could be that they realize the state that you're in and they just try to, like, you know, buy you gifts or be affectionate, physically affectionate or something, and that's just trying to kind of put a Band-Aid on the situation, right? It's not really getting to the core issues here. So a lot to think about here. And speaking of thinking, we have this Princess of Swords, and this is, I think, this is us really trying to get to the thinking part of this thing. Because I feel like you've spent a lot of time with the emotions, and you're trying to, again, kind of wrap them in that shell and isolate them so they don't infect the rest of you. And you're spending a lot of time mentally, I think, energetically, fighting off those feelings. Trying to just keep the negative emotions at bay, like this Princess of Swords is doing. But I think what we need rather than this is to kind of level up our thinking and to find a way to overcome the emotions just enough, put them aside just for now, and that kind of goes with the surrounding them in that shell and kind of isolating them for the time being so that you can think a little bit more clearly and you can look at these things from different angles. Look at this situation from different points of view. Try to understand what the context is, what really happened, what your role in this situation is, how you might be misinterpreting some facts, all of it. Now, I'm not saying that you're just kind of, you're getting your feelings hurt over nothing. No, I'm not saying that at all. Look, I'm a Cancer too. And, you know, I know how this process works, at least for myself. Okay? And nothing is going to take away the validity of how you feel. Okay? The way you feel is how you feel. It's 100% correct. That's how you feel. I'm not trying to change your feelings, not trying to deny your feelings. Just trying to, let's set them aside for a moment and let's look and think clearly. Okay? I think you're someone that spends a lot of time thinking about your emotions. You know? Thinking about how they're affecting you, thinking about are they right or are they wrong, why are they, rather than accepting the emotions, saying, okay, look, I see you, I feel you, but I need to think about some other things. I need to get an objective viewpoint. I wonder if this is going to be, this mystery card, I wonder if this is going to be the Queen. of Swords. Could be, we'll see. So again, I think you spend a lot of time thinking about your emotions, thinking about how they're affecting you. And we're kind of dwelling in those emotions, you know. Spending a lot of time just trying to maybe keep them away, but at the same time, by engaging with them, we're just keeping them here. We're keeping them relevant. We're keeping them activated. I'm not saying to deny your emotions or to cut yourself off from how you feel, but I'm saying we need to level up our approach to how we're thinking about our emotions. You know, emotions are something, I think, that we feel, and then we try to understand them later. You know, and I think that's kind of where we're at with this Princess of Swords energy. Down here beneath the surface, we have a 2 of Pentacles, discs, coins, diamonds. I think part of the idea here really is not so much that this person did something to offend you necessarily, or it wasn't direct, but I think it's more the fact that you're seeing this different side of them that really is almost frightening, and it's almost, you really don't like this other side of them, you know. It could be just a completely different face. So we have the white sphere here, you know, the kind of the yang energy, and I think through whatever event this was, whatever happened, I think you kind of saw this yin energy, this darkness kind of come out of them. And that's what really kind of put you off and is causing some of this energy in you. It's not so much what they did specifically, but what you saw through that action or that decision, that event. You know what I mean? And this is kind of, it really kind of flipped what you thought you understood about this person or the connection that you had. It's really like, I don't know you at all. And now I think through this incident, you feel that your world is kind of changing a little bit. Things are a little bit unstable. Something is shifting. And I don't think that we like that very much. You know, I think with this Empress energy, among all the other things we talked about with this card, I think this was you really getting really immersed in this life that you thought you had, this relationship, this potential future, this, you know, what you thought was a very respectful and loving and affectionate relationship, even if it was at work, even if it's family, platonic, romantic, whatever. You were very immersed in that, and I think you got quite attached to it. But now with this thing going on, you're starting to feel that the ground is kind of shifting, and we don't know which way it's going to end up. You know, and I don't think we really like change all that much. I think you're one that takes a lot of things personally, and when there is some kind of change like this, it causes a bit of a disruption in this emotional state that we have. We try to maintain this balance, and we just get a little bit of this upset from this kind of change. Anyway, let's change over to the Path of the Serpent. I want to just say that these cards are always correct. I don't care who you are, what tarot videos you watch. You never get an incorrect card out of a tarot deck. But sometimes as the interpreter, as the messenger, I might not be able to associate each of these cards to your life directly. Okay? And I'll admit that when it happens. And that's why I ask you to, you know, connect directly with the images and energies of these cards. Use your own intuition to go beyond what I'm telling you. Okay? So, general energy, your 4 of Pentacles. I think this really is, we've already kind of touched upon this. This is this safety, security, stability, this foundation that we're trying to maintain in our life. And I think that this situation is causing a little bit of a disturbance, a little bit of a disruption in this kind of well-built fortress that you kind of live in, right? Maybe not literally, okay? Maybe you don't live in a castle. But you've built up enough walls around you to kind of protect yourself from your lifestyle, your activities, your your interactions with other people and all of these things have been developed to such a degree that it creates the safest space for you. Okay, and that's what we said at the beginning, where this person maybe has violated your airspace. They've invaded your space, or they somehow have penetrated through your defenses and got to a spot in you that you didn't want anyone to get to. You know what I mean? And it caused this kind of disruption. It caused this these hurt feelings. And I think it was in some way a violation, either of trust or of boundaries, perhaps. Okay? And again, I don't know if it's the specific incident that is so bothersome, or kind of what it means, you know, of what it reveals about that person or about the relationship itself. Okay? But I feel like you're someone who definitely has boundaries. You have limits. And maybe you've kind of opened up your castle walls a little bit and let this person in, and you feel like they've imposed. They've violated that space a little bit. They've disrespected the interior a little bit. Maybe they wore their shoes on the couch or something like that, you know? I don't mean that literally. But in some way, the boundary has been crossed with them. Okay? And I think you're someone that has very strong boundaries. And I think you've spent a lot of time and effort and a lot of emotional energy, too, building up these walls, building up these boundaries. And I think it's very important to you that those are respected. You know? What we see next is in the position of your environment, the connection here. And this is the Eight of Swords. So this is more of this air energy. Excuse me. This is more of that air energy that we talked about here with the Princess of Swords. And I think the more we are trying to cut through this situation, the more we're trying to analyze, the more we're trying to sort out what's really going on, or sort through the way we feel about things, and or the more we're trying to isolate our emotions and kind of fend them off and not allow the negative feeling to come back up, we're just kind of getting ourselves deeper and deeper into this mess. Okay? And I think this is our intellect really being used in a way that's not so productive. You know? I think that this is, in some ways, we're wrapping ourselves up in so much of this rationalization, overthinking, overanalyzing, as a way to, I mean, it's almost like a cocoon being built around you, right? All of these swords, you're kind of just walling yourself off. And I think this is a way for us to deal with the emotions, is just by over-intellectualizing, overanalyzing, overthinking. And it is cutting us off from our emotions, it's cutting us off from the reality of the situation, because we're spending so much time building this cocoon that we're not really dealing with the situation. We're not dealing with our feelings, and we're not trying to, you know, allow the feelings to happen and then say, okay, I hear you, I feel you, let's put you over here so we can think about this objectively, try to get a bird's eye view, try to get a more detached or objective viewpoint of what's going on. Look at it from a different angle. But you can't, because we're so wrapped up in this emotional thinking that we're not seeing things clearly. We're not able to move. We're not able to really get anywhere. And we're kind of doing it not intentionally, but on a subconscious level. Yeah, we're doing it for a reason, and that's to kind of protect ourselves in a way. It's the same as building up our boundaries, building up our walls here. We're kind of doing the same thing mentally and emotionally with that Eight of Swords. The next card that we have, interestingly, is the Hanged Man, and this is some water energy that we talked about having some water here. We don't have any cups, but we've got the water. And this is kind of saying what our biggest task is right now, but what's going to be the most difficult thing to do, and that is to immerse ourselves in how we feel. Really kind of just take a bath in your emotions, experience them, so that you can come out of this water renewed, refreshed. That water energy can drain from you, It's like a cleansing bath. You know, that bath, that water is going to take all of that negativity away, and you're going to emerge from this bath with the ability now to look at things differently. And that's part of the Hanged Man, is the change of perspective. Okay? And that's very important for us to first go into the emotions, feel them, understand them, right? Allow them to resonate with us, and then to pull ourselves out of that water and change our perspective, change the angle at which we're looking at things. Okay? But this is the scary thing. This is in the position of your fears, worries, and concerns. This is not the easy thing to do. And I think we've tried very hard to kind of keep ourselves from really feeling like what is it that we are really feeling right now. You know, we feel upset and we feel hurt, but why is that? What does it really feel like? And you know, I was going to say, why are we trying to isolate that? Why are we trying to wall ourselves off? Why are we trying to kind of wrap ourselves in this cocoon? Well, we don't need to know why. I think we know why already. But we have to recognize that we do that, and we have to immerse ourselves in this feeling in order to come out of it and be more objective about it. Now, the Hanged Man, on the other side of things, the Hanged Man is also saying at the same time, right? Immerse yourself in the feeling and then emerge from it and let it go. Let it go. That's the message of the Hanged Man too. You have to be willing to let that feeling go. Certainly feel it, immerse yourself in it, and then let it go. And only by letting it go will this Hanged Man be able to change perspectives, change position, and look at things differently, utilize some of this air energy in a better way. Okay? And, you know, I think that's the scary thing. I think a lot of the times, and I know this as a Cancer too, I like holding on to how I feel. Even if it's a negative emotion, I have a hard time letting things go. But this is what the Hanged Man is telling us. And I don't know why it is with Cancers in particular that we like to hold on to these things. It's difficult to let things go, to let our feelings go. But that's what the Hanged Man is talking about, and that's why this is in the position it's in, because this is the difficulty, this is the obstacle, you know, is to be able to let that feeling go so that we can change our perspective and look at things a little more clearly. Now, I don't know this other person, I don't know what they did or what this incident is. I'm just getting this sense of kind of what's going on with you, you know. And I realize now that we forgot to go to a very crucial part of this, the path of the dove. Maybe we didn't forget. I don't believe in accidents or coincidences. I think there's a reason for it. I think there's a reason why we saved this card for next to the last card. And this is in the immediate future, and this is the Death card. Okay? But I don't like calling it the Death card. Let's call it the Rebirth card. Okay? I think through this situation, you know, there's indications here. We're going to just do this card too. This Seven of Pentacles, which is the ultimate outcome, the more long-term outcome card that we have here on the Path of the Serpent. So Path of the Dove, Path of the Serpent, projected outcomes. I don't know that this relationship, this thing that you're doing, this person that you're with right now, I don't think they are right for you. I'll be honest with you. It feels to me like this is either a tremendous wake-up call for you with this Death card. I think that through this experience, as painful as it is, you're going to wake up in the morning and realize it's a brand new day and we can be reborn any moment. And it's kind of like this baptism, this water, this Hanged Man. Immersing yourself in that feeling, in the reality of your emotions in this situation, and then rising anew, rebirthing yourself. You know what I mean? Looking at this like a new start with some new perspective, some new understanding, some new power, really. Right? It's a spiritual power. And with the Seven of Pentacles here, this is saying that within the darkness, within the seeming disasters or the negative things, there is victory and triumph and strength and energy and power through those situations. Okay? So I honestly think that this incident, what we're going through this week, is a necessary step in your evolution, in your overall spiritual transformation. I think that through this kind of negative experience, through this unwanted event, this kind of trouble or conflict, this negativity, you're going to find strength and power. You're going to find a way to triumph over this, And I think a big part of that is by letting things go. By learning how to let things go, you will find the ability, the power to triumph over any kind of negative experiences in your life. But this particular incident, circumstance, this event, this relationship, I think is really the catalyst for change for you. The catalyst for you to learn how to find the spiritual light in the darkness and use that to renew your spiritual vigor. I don't know what that noise was. I better go check. Let's look at this mystery card really quick and see what this could reveal about our situation. Well, look at that. We've got the Emperor. This really, I think, is the result of this. The Emperor is the one who leads the charge, who triumphs, who wakes up in the morning and feels their power, knows their power, So I think this really is the symbol of your victory through this situation, through letting go of this situation, right? Through immersing yourself in your feelings, understanding your feelings, coming out of that refreshed and awakened, and using it as an opportunity to further your growth, your transformation, your spiritual evolution, learning to see the power, the light, the spiritual force and fire in the darkness, in those kind of negative events, So I think this situation really is helping you find your power. And I think I like that. I think this is a good way to end. We're going to do an extended. If you want to stick around, click on the link right there. And you can have the extended for this and for all of the other readings, for all signs, everything. Okay. This was your weekly tarot reading, January 5th through 11th on Dove and Serpent Tarot.